Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to a brand new podcast series of Lit Gang. What's popping? So my name is Tony.
I'm Stephanie, and in this series, we gotta collect all of the news during the month.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we bet you that it's all gonna be a great news,
Yeah.
like a very latest one. Yeah, and basically, you guys gonna receive a lot of personal opinions.
So if you guys want to listen to a lot of dramatic personal opinions, so our podcast series is available on YouTube, Spotify, and every social platform of Lit Gang. So are you ready, Steph?
Yes, definitely.
Let's get started.
Okay, Tony. So, what are you, in your opinion, what is the most popping issues that in this April and May?
Well, I think that in Vietnam first. So the thing that we should all mention is the latest MV of Son Tung MTP,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, that on April the 28th, Son Tung finally had his comeback after a lot of scandals, Hải Tú or Thiều Bảo Trang. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Thiều Bảo Trang is the sister.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what makes me really surprised is that the song was 100% composed in English.
Yeah.
Even though I don't understand anything at all. But okay, but anyway, so after that, maybe 1 or 2 days, the song was completely deleted on
Every social platforms. Yeah.
because it has a suicide scene.
Exactly.
What makes everyone, especially the netizens, really furious because they thought that Son Tung was trying to spread the mindset of negative solution when dealing with problems in our life. So have you watched the video yet?
I mean, on the first day, actually, I don't remember the day. You remind me of the day.
Yeah.
And,
Do you remember?
Okay. But when he first released it, I watched it right away. Yeah, and then I don't know why, but I think it's just my opinion that I did not really like the rhythm of the song or even the lyrics. Like you say, I can barely understand what it means. But I think it was his first step to reach the international music. Yeah, and I think he's just trying to make a move. Because we all know that. Oh, do you know the song, the previous song of him with Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
What was his
Hãy
name?
trao cho anh.
Yeah, Hãy trao cho anh. And it was a big hit of him,
Yeah.
right? But for some reason, maybe this time he didn't do that great job. And because you said before, it had the suicide scenes that has great impacts on the youngster who watch his videos. And I don't know, but I even watched some of the influencer who has beforehand read and watched the MV and also left a comment in there, and they said that they don't know why he can wrote the song like that and even have the scene like suicide scene when most of his audience was like teenagers just like us, and they have a lot of struggles in life. Yeah, and suicide at the end. Why it's not in the middle? Why it's not in the beginning, but the end? It's like the solutions for dying. I don't get it.
Well, I think that he was just trying to tell his own story because I don't know. For example, I don't consider myself as a creative person, but I do, sometimes I do come up with ideas, and it is my personal opinion that when you are down in the dumps, when you are really sad, ideas will pop up, in your head, and you really want to share it to a lot of people. Maybe that Son Tung at that time, he wanted to share his story for a lot of people, and he thought that some people might, found his story relatable. But anyway, some of my friends, they said that they didn't know whether Son Tung was trying to use the controversy in order to promote his song, because as I have just mentioned, that before his comeback, he had, a lot of scandals.
Yeah.
So do you think that is just, a marketing strategy of artists?
I think the only who can answer this is Son Tung MTP, because we barely know that. But I do understand the point here that I have also watched a lot of other programs that they also use as kind of marketing strategy. But well, if that was one of his strategy, I think he made great success. I think he did great success in there. But in general, I think it does not. I think it was one of the most failing strategy that he has ever had.
Yes, because it is the fact that he had to pay the price.
Yeah.
But I still have one more question that because a lot of people say that it is the duty of an artist to spread the positive energy, but if artists they just keep focusing on positive, so I personally think that it somehow restricts the ability to create new ideas. So do you think so?
Well, I'm in the middle. It's like for the artist who write the song, it's bringing positive vibes to the song, can spread can spread the listener, can feel like happy.
Yeah.
But like you has already said before, like sometimes they just want to share their story.
Yeah.
And even some in their when they share the story in their songs, it's like they're also like spreading some kind of relatable feelings to the audience. And sometimes, for example, I'll take example for making everything clear. If you suffer from the heartbreak, you will listen to the song that also have the same vibes.
Yeah.
But I never feel like when I'm in a heartbreak, I would never listen to the happy song and like rap or something like that. No, it's not things works like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes positive vibes is good, but even if you're emotional or you have some other thoughts and write it in the song, it's totally fine. Just notice that sometimes it should be end with a good solution instead of the bad one.
Or maybe I think that Son Tung should have had an open ending. Yeah. Instead of committing suicide like this. But I don't know if you remember or not, but at that time when the song was released, there were a lot of suicide cases.
Yes.
So I wonder if there hadn't been any suicide cases at that time, would Son Tung's songs would become a hit as usual?
I can't tell, but for like we had also mentioned a little bit about it, like if it doesn't have the suicide scene and have an open ending, like he just looking at the big window but not jumping down, it's make everything different. But the pictures in the videos in the MV, it's just not bright enough. And
it's so dark.
Yeah, it's so dark and it had a lot of violent scenes. And even if it's not having the suicide scene, I think he still got some negative feedbacks for that from the critics.
Yeah. So I think that from this case of Son Tung, I think that I myself think that when releasing any kind of products, so our artists, they should take into account who their audience are.
Yeah.
For example, in this case, Son Tung, he has a lot of young listeners, so he should consider it before doing anything. Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah. So remember that, artist.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So because we're mentioning a little bit about Vietnamese music industry, so hey, do you know the cases that Dong-Nhi and her fan club just
of course. How can I not know?
Yeah, it's pretty hot recently, and and everybody just cared about that. But I don't really remember exactly the cases, like how it's happened.
So just try to tell me what you remember.
Yeah, I remember kind of like there was a fan club, and it's named like FC Dong-Nhi on a YouTube channel. Yeah, but one day that the administrator of that fan club, he cannot get access to his YouTube channel. Yeah, and then he just kind of like telling that Dong-Nhi and her production team is that betraying the fan. Right, kind of like that. And I remember that. I don't remember. I don't know the details, but my friend told me that Dong-Nhi then posted one of her posts on social media saying that she's really disappointed about her fans because keeping things not in track with what she wants or something like that.
So actually, the relations, the problems, the controversy over the relationship between artists and audience isn't new at all, because You know, this case reminds me of Dien Cookie. Okay, so Dien Cookie, so she is, you know, like she's known as the hit maker in Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
So in 2020, she used to say that as an artist, it is not necessary to love the audience.
Really?
Yeah, so
She said so?
that she said so in 2020. So I think that, so I want to ask you, so do you think that Dongyi, you know, like is taking her fans for granted? Because, you know, like obviously that without her fans, we wouldn't know who Dongyi is.
Well, basically, I think that I don't know if she takes us for granted or not, but if this the first scandal that she got relating to the fan clubs, because I have noticed that in her career, and she have never got any issue like this before.
Yeah.
And people have always talked about her like an angel, and she's really being nice to people or something like that. And people pay a lot of compliments about her. So basically, I think that she wouldn't take her fans for granted, but I think it's just because of her, you know, spontaneous behavior when she reacted to things. Because I think she cannot able to control her emotion at that time, which make her make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, like through this, you know, like scandals, I think that Dongyi was too rushed.
Yeah, I think so
You know, too rushed. And it shows that she is not really good at handling, you know, like media crisis at that time. But, you know, like I have a friend. So she works in, you know, like a movie industry, and she once told me that like she doesn't know why, you know, like Vietnamese celebrities, they always put themselves, you know, like above everyone.
Oh.
And I think that because now Dongyi, she is an A-list celebrity, so I think that somehow in her mind that she a little bit underestimate her fans. That is my personal opinion, because, you know, for example, like when you achieve some accomplishments, and you will become a little bit arrogant. Yeah. But you know, like now she had to pay the price. Of course, now so now, you know, like the phrase "pay the price" appears a lot during this talk. But I don't know if you noticed or not, but you know, I have to admit that I am obsessed with the fact that a lot of people, they use scandals to promote a product, because Dongyi before this, she, you know, released a new song, and as far as I know that
it's kind of weird. Hey, is there something kind of similar to the first case that we have mentioned? Like, I don't know why. I don't know why, but we both think of it as like a marketing strategy, right? It's hard to tell.
But you know, like whatever it is, those kind of strategy is completely failed.
Yeah, it's so failed. And what's the lesson to learn here? Like for Dongyi, like
I think that there are two lessons for Dongyi in particular, and artists in general. First of all, respect your fans, because you are an artist, you are a singer, you are an actor, but you know, like basically you are provide the service to your customer, which are the fans. That is the first lesson. So the second lesson is that you need to think before you do anything.
Yeah, and remember that without the fans, you will not have the place that you are today. Okay? Yeah, so yes, that's a little bit added to the advice. Exactly. Okay. So
let's go outside of Vietnam. Okay, so why don't we talk about the lawsuit between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
Oh yeah, I do heard of that.
Yeah, but I do know that, you know, like this, you know, like case has happened for such a long time.
Yeah.
But I think that we still have a lot of things to discuss.
Actually, I don't really follow the case, like, but we can always search for it on internet, right? Basically, like, I'm kind of impressed. I'm not watching the whole trial, like what they say, but I'm kind of impressed that I think Johnny Depp is kind of brave.
Brave?
Like,
really?
I think so, because, like, have you ever seen a man that admitting himself being, like, a victim of domestic violence?
What did you say in response when Miss Heard said, "Tell the world, Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence?
I said yes. I am.
Oh yeah.
Like normally that's for the women or for girls who have been like physically abused or something kind of like that, but for men they never actually say what they think or if they have actually suffered from that.
You know what? That is really, like a good point because, yeah, I do agree with you. Most of the time when it comes to domestic violence, people will immediately think that the victims are only women.
Sadly.
And when a woman being hit by, like anyone, they will, how can I say, receive a lot of support.
Yeah.
But however, when a man being hit by, like anyone else, especially a woman, people will say, "Oh my God, you're so weak. Oh, you're not a man. Oh my God, you're nothing. Just like this."
Yeah, I don't know, but I once like watched a videos that I think it was like a kind of relating to domestic abuse, like the wife hit the husband pretty hard on the head, but people I read some comment in the both like in the box and most of the people just teasing him and saying like it's just like jokes or something. I don't think they take it for serious.
I think one of the reasons, is that normally men are labeled as masculine, like strong, and you cannot show your emotions, something like that. So that's why a lot of men, they choose to keep silent when they are harassed physically and mentally because they are afraid of being judged by the society as a whole. And I think that it is the silence that kills us, not the harassment itself. Back to the topic of domestic violence and the reasons why men don't usually show their emotion or speak for themselves. I think that one of the underlying reasons is the toxic masculinity. So have you ever heard of toxic masculinity before?
Not really close to. I mean, I not really know much about that phrase, but I think that people have always considered man, like you said, being strong and cannot like shed tears and cannot show their weakness signs.
Yeah.
But like telling even some people saying that for man, if they showing love like hugging, like even to his mother or something like that, it will be show like not strong enough or something like that. I don't know why. But
I don't know why. So I think that from this case, there are several lessons that I myself, like as a man, can learn. So first of all, that when you have a problem, just spit it out.
Yeah.
Just speak for yourselves. And another thing is that it's okay to, to show your emotions to other people. Yeah. So I hope that all of the men out there, you learn something from, the case of Depp and Amber Heard.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the end of the first episode of What's Popping today. That I hope you guys will enjoy. Enjoy this video as well as this podcast series. Okay, so of course that remember to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and other official platforms of Lit Game. Okay, so we'll see you in the next episode. And now, bye.